You must have observed that the iron nails, they develop this reddish brown coating on them if they're left for some time. Is there any similarity between the browning of these iron nails and the browning of an apple? Let's see. The browning of the substances made up of iron is what we call rusting or corrosion. This reddish brown coating on the iron articles is known as rusting or corrosion, and this is because of the slow oxidation of iron in the presence of oxygen and moisture. So in the presence of both oxygen and moisture, iron gets oxidized to form rust. And this is the similarity between the iron articles and an apple. An apple contains iron atoms. When it is cut and exposed to atmosphere, it reacts with the oxygen and moisture present in the atmosphere. So the iron atoms, they get oxidized to develop this brown coating. So both the iron articles and in this case even an apple is getting rusted or corroded. So we have said that both oxygen and moisture are important for rusting or corrosion to take place. Let's see if it is true. So we take 3 test tubes and some iron nails. In the first test tube, we put some water and it is open at the top. That is, there is presence of both water and oxygen in the first test tube. In the second test tube, the iron nails are immersed in water and there is a layer of oil which is put on the top. This oil layer prevents any oxygen to come in contact with the iron nails. So in short, there is presence of only water in the second test tube and not oxygen. What about the third test tube? In the third test tube, there is no water as this anhydrous calcium chloride crystals which are put in the third test tube, they absorb all the moisture. So they absorb all the moisture in the atmosphere. So these iron nails are exposed only to oxygen. So let's see in which test tube rusting takes place. So if they have left for some time, it is observed that the iron nails present only in the first test tube develop this reddish brown coating. This means the iron nails which were exposed to both water and oxygen are getting rusted. So this proves that both oxygen and moisture are important for corrosion or rusting to take place. What is the rust that is getting formed? So first, iron, it reacts with oxygen to form the oxide Fe2O3, and then this Fe2O3, when it comes in contact with moisture, it forms the reddish brown Fe2O3.XH2O. And this is the reddish brown coating of rust that we see on the iron articles. So this Fe2O3.XH2O is rust. So from these equations you see that both oxygen and moisture is required for rusting or corrosion to take place. Only oxygen is required for rusting to take place. Is it true or false? For rusting, both oxygen and moisture play a very important role. So only oxygen cannot cause rusting. So the given statement is false. Mars is known as red planet. This is because of the large amount of ferric oxide which is present on the surface of Mars. Since ferric oxide is brown in color, it gives it this reddish brown coating and thus it is known as red planet. Now we have to prevent corrosion from taking place. Why do we have to prevent corrosion? These days, a lot of articles are made up of iron doors, iron handles, the bodies of various cars, etc. So iron is used in a lot of substances or articles these days. So when it gets rusted, it degrades the properties of the iron articles. It degrades its properties and it weakens the iron articles. So in order to prevent iron from getting rusted, we have to carry out some methods to prevent corrosion. And this is known as barrier protection. Barrier protection means we have to prevent the surface of iron to come in contact with oxygen and moisture in order to prevent rusting or corrosion to take place. So there are different methods which we use to prevent corrosion. Let's see what are the different methods. The first method is galvanization. Galvanization is coating the iron articles with zinc. Zinc is a very important metal. When we coat the iron articles with zinc, it prevents the surface of iron articles to come in contact with oxygen and moisture. So it prevents corrosion from taking place. So by using galvanization, that is coating the surface of iron articles with zinc, we can prevent corrosion. Another way to prevent corrosion is by electroplating. Electroplating is using electrolysis to coat the iron articles with some other metal. So by electroplating as well, we can prevent the surface of iron articles to come in contact with air, that is oxygen and moisture, and so we can prevent corrosion. And one more method which works on the similar lines is by painting iron. So when we paint iron with some other metal or with some other substance, even that prevents the surface from coming in contact with oxygen and moisture, so it prevents corrosion. So these are the different ways that we can use to prevent corrosion from taking place. Galvanization is the coating of a metal by, so during galvanization we use zinc. Iron articles get rusted when they come in contact with oxygen and moisture. They form Fe2O3 .XH2O, which is the reddish brown rust. So in order to prevent rusting or corrosion to take place, we use different methods. One of the methods is galvanization. In this, we coat the iron articles with zinc. Zinc prevents the surface of iron articles from coming in contact with oxygen and moisture, and so we can prevent rusting or corrosion to take place. Now there is a mystery, the mystery of Iron Pillar of Delhi. It has stood for 1600 years without getting rusted. Some theories are proposed that it is made up of pure iron, it has some sulfur added to it, the area in which it stands is free of humidity, it is away from industrial site, and so on. But whatever be the case, it is a wonder nonetheless. It has stood for 1600 years without getting rusted.